at Delhi's Jantar Mantar with one simple demand to take action against BJP MP, against Wrestling Federation of India boss Brij Bhushan. Has that happened? No. Multiple complaints, including that of sexual harassment by even a minor, has been filed against this man. And yet the most basic step of an FIR hasn't been registered against him. Let's round up for you all the latest updates and get you what the wrestlers have to say, and then we'll discuss this in detail.
It's day 4 and our sporting heroes are still on the roads. Anger mounts as authorities fail to act on charges of sexual harassment levelled against BJP MP and Wrestling Federation of India chief Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh. The wrestlers who are on protest claim Brij Bhushan is still calling the shots in the Wrestling Federation of India.
देखिए हमने स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्टर ने जितना भी हमने बातचीत की सब उनको बताया था, सब उनके सामने रखा था, फिर भी वो लोग अगर कुछ कार्रवाई करने को रेडी नहीं है तो फिर हमें मतलब लीगल तरीके से जाना पड़ेगा।
वो सोर्सेज पता नहीं हमारे पास क्यों नहीं है। वो बोल रहा है कि मैं साफ सभी का आदमी हूँ, लेकिन वो जो हमारी विक्टिम उनको दबाया जा रहा है, धमकाया जा रहा है, पैसे की वो लालच दिया जा रहा है। ये कौन से शरीफ लोगों का काम है?
A day after the Supreme Court served notice to the Delhi police on a plea filed by the athletes, the police have told the court that a preliminary inquiry may have to be conducted before filing an FIR. The Delhi Women's Commission has recommended an FIR against the police officers for failing to take any action in the matter of sexual harassment.
आज 5 दिन हो चुके हैं, लेकिन अब तक दिल्ली पुलिस ने विमेन रेसलर्स के सेक्सुअल हैरेसमेंट के केस में कोई एफआईआर दर्ज नहीं करी है। लड़कियों को और उनके परिवार वालों को लगातार धमकियां मिल रही हैं और उन्होंने यहां तक बताया है कि उनको ऐसा लगता है कि दिल्ली पुलिस के ऑफिसर्स ने उनके नाम अक्यूज्ड को लीक कर दिए हैं और तभी उनको धमकियां मिल रही हैं।
Many opposition leaders, including former Haryana Chief Minister Bhupinder Hooda, have backed the wrestlers' protest. The latest to extend support is former Jammu and Kashmir Governor Satyapal Malik. The athletes have camped at Delhi's Jantar Mantar demanding an FIR against Brij Bhushan. Talks so far have failed to break the deadlock. Bureau Report, India Today.
And let's take this across now to Aishwarya Paliwal, who's joining us live from Jantar Mantar from the protest venue. Aishwarya, what's different from the last time's protest and now is that these wrestlers are now also welcoming any political support they can get. And why won't they? None of their demands so far have been met.
Well, actually, let me start by, telling you exactly the song that's playing here. Hanuman Chalisa, asking Lord Hanuman to give them Shakti is the song that's playing in the background where all the wrestlers at the moment are sitting. It's day 4, Akshita, and still the authorities have not come up. In fact, the Women's Commission also, no member from the Women's Commission has come up to the wrestlers and has spoken with them, which is very, very alarming. The wrestlers are saying that they now want the support of everyone possible and they will not be moving from this spot, even though they understand that every passing day, it's very important. The day when they are not training is important and will be very, very harmful for them in all the big games. But still, they are sitting here, Akshita, because they want that action should be taken against very, very serious allegations. Sexual harassment cases have been filed. They have been speaking about it, but it's been more than 3 months, Akshita. No action has been taken so far, and that's
the most basic step you would assume is to take cognizance of their complaint and file an FIR. That hasn't been done, and that was mentioned in the Supreme Court as well. Thanks, Aishwarya, for getting us that ground report. I'd like to introduce now onto the point the Delhi Commission for Women Chief, Swati Maliwal, who's been very vocal on this issue and has been highlighting this issue for the last many days and weeks. Swati, good evening. There are so many loopholes here that we need to talk about. No FIR filed despite a complaint. Details of the victims that's been leaked, including the minor who's levelled the sexual harassment charge against BJP MP and WFI boss Brij Bhushan. These wrestlers are running from pillar to post. The NCW hasn't taken cognizance.
I think this is one of the most brazen and completely illegal acts of the Delhi police.
5 days have happened and Delhi police has failed to register even an FIR in the matter of POCSO. These girls have given written representations to the Women Commission of Delhi, where they have alleged that senior officials from the sports ministry got to know about their complaint immediately when they filed it in the Delhi police, and they have been harassing these girls by calling them and trying to identify the identities of other survivors. Yesterday, again, we got fresh complaints from these girls where they have made serious allegations against several people who are actually calling up them, their families, and trying to threaten them, trying to coerce them into submission. What is Delhi police doing? We've issued notices, we have raised this matter up with the Delhi police, and the Delhi police is just sitting completely silently, and their only excuse is that they're inquiring the matter. What kind of an inquiry happens before an FIR in the sexual harassment case?
Is that the response you've received? Swati, I'm sure you've tried to reach out to the Delhi police repeatedly on this. What has their response been on record on why they haven't filed an FIR?
They're completely silent, and I saw from the press release that they have given and even the press conferences that they're holding, I have seen that what they're trying to say is that because we are doing an inquiry in the matter, we will first do an inquiry and then we will do the FIR. But that is not the law of the land. The law of the land is extremely clear. An FIR has to be registered by the police officer immediately when a girl complains about sexual harassment. That is the law of India. I don't know which law is the Delhi police following. In fact, I have written a recommendation to the senior most police officers in Delhi today, because I want FIRs to be registered against all those officers who have failed to protect these girls and who have failed to file their FIR, because section 166A(c) of IPC says exactly that. After Nirbhaya's rape, there were criminal amendment. There were amendments in the criminal bill, and this is the very strong piece of amendment that we had got. If a police officer refuses to file the FIR of sexual harassment case, an FIR will be filed against that police officer. Now, I want 2-3 things. One, FIR against this Brij Bhushan Singh, who thinks that he's above law. He needs to be arrested immediately, and there needs to be an FIR against all these officers who have completely failed to protect these girls and register their police complaint. Also, we need security for these girls. This man is extremely influential. Not only he is a member of the parliament, he seems to be very, very having a huge amount of clout, because I fail to understand that how is it that Olympian girls, these girls have won medals for this country. They are stars in this country. Each and every girl in the country looks up to them, and these girls are forced to sit on the streets of Delhi. They're forced to eat there. They're forced to sleep there. They're crying in front of the country, and the government fails to move an inch. I think it is really shameful. I think action needs to be taken against this man. He needs to be immediately jailed, and action needs to be taken against Delhi police officers who have failed to do their duty completely.
We all agree that there must be an investigation against Brij Bhushan. These are extremely grave charges. So investigate all you want, but go ahead and file that FIR, because that is the most basic step. Do you also, Swati, feel a bit disappointed and let down by the fact that the National Commission for Women hasn't spoken on this? These wrestlers have reached out to the NCW repeatedly. There's been no response.
I think it is not at all shocking, because if you look at the conduct of the National Commission for Women, when is it that they actually speak out? I have not seen any notices, and I have not seen the kind of action that the Delhi Commission for Women has been doing. So I think it is really unfortunate, and it's quite shameless, because you see these girls, each and every girl in the country looks up to them. If you do not ensure justice and protection for these girls? What is the message that is going to the entire country? That yes, there will be rapes in the country, there will be sexual harassment, there will be lot of issues, and nobody protects girls. So I think the National Commission for Women, I think the Haryana Commission for Women, I think everybody need to get their act together. And it's really, it's something which I feel very strongly against, because I feel that many times the Delhi Commission for Women is just fighting a lonely battle. Sometimes, most of the times actually, we are all alone in this fight. We will continue this fight, and I am 101% sure that law of the land will prevail, and there will be an FIR against Brij Bhushan, there will be arrests made against him, and there will be FIRs against Delhi police officers who think that they are above law.
Okay, Swati Maliwal, thank you for joining us here on India Today. You've in fact raised this issue repeatedly. We're going to continue tracking this very closely. I also want to bring in right now Mr. SP Ved, former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir, who's also spoken out vocally on this issue on social media. Mr. SP Ved, good evening, sir. I want to understand from you quite simply, when a complaint of this nature reaches the cops, is it not protocol? Is it not the prerogative of the police force to go ahead and file an FIR?
Yes. See, I was listening to Swati. It's very unfortunate that such an incident has happened, and not one girl. So many of them are speaking, and they are national heroes of the country. Each girl in the country looks up to them, and it's very unfortunate. I seek the intervention of highest in the country, including Union Home Minister and the Prime Minister. I think normal procedure is whenever such a complaint is made, you have it prima facie investigated, and if prima facie the case is made out, the FIR is registered and investigation is initiated. And I think that should be done here also. Why? Just because he is a member of parliament and from the ruling party, he just can't escape this responsibility. And the law must take its course. I think have it. If the policemen in Delhi police feel that it could be false allegation, just have it. Have the statement of the girls recorded.
Sure, and that can be investigated, sir. But the question is, you've got them going on record to say we're conducting a preliminary investigation first, and then we'll decide on filing the FIR. How is that procedural?
No, there's no harm in just checking the authenticity of the complaint.
But for 3 months.
But yes, 3 months is too much of time, and I think it's high time that FIR is registered. And in fact, it should not have taken more than even a day to find out what actually has happened with the girls, and why are they all? What a tragedy that they are protesting on the streets of Delhi. I think everybody in the government must be concerned about, and I request the government of India to intervene here and just see that these girls get justice. And if this man is guilty, he must be proceeded against. FIR should be registered and action should be taken against him.
Mr. SP Ved, the seriousness of the situation is such that you've got a minor here accusing a man of sexual harassment, and despite that there's no FIR that's been lodged. Details of the victims have also been leaked, sir. Do you believe that there must also be some sort of look and a relook into how this case entirely has been handled and perhaps bungled up?
Absolutely. Why should names be leaked in such a case? And I think the police officers, or wherever it has leaked, should be held to accountable. And look at the morale of these wrestlers. Tomorrow, they are going to represent the country. If they don't get justice, and all these girls, if they are facing sexual harassment, they need to be protected. And I think we must proceed legally against this member parliament of BJP ruling party. It's high time that law takes its course. 3 months is too much of a time just to verify. I think country is looking up to the senior functionaries of the government of India to take action in this case.
Do you believe, my final question to you, Mr. SP Ved, is that in this case, the reason that we've seen this lack of action is just one factor, which is influence of the accused here. The fact that he is a member of parliament, the fact that he is the head of the Wrestling Federation of India. Do you think that's the only factor that's really halting the investigation?
Law, everyone is equal in front of law. However powerful one may be, the law must take its course. That is very simple. I think the police investigating agency must go ahead. Whatever his position or whatever his authority may be, the law does not recognize that. Everyone is equal before law.
That's the message that needs to go out perhaps to the Delhi police as well. Thank you very much, Mr. SP Ved, for joining us this evening with your expert comments on this. Just look at the kind of message that something like this is sending, that for 4 days our wrestlers are seated and counting, by the way, because they haven't gotten any sort of justice really. They continue to sit at Jantar Mantar. These are men and women who've made us so very proud on the international stage. Imagine the message that's going across to aspiring wrestlers. Imagine the message that's going across to women, to minors who face sexual harassment and will look to approach the police. They'll think twice, because these are headline-grabbing wrestlers whose demands have still not been met. And it's a story that we're going to continue tracking here on India Today and continue speaking for the wrestlers. We're shifting focus right now to what's happening in Karnataka, where the quota war between the BJP and Congress has escalated, with a comment being made by Siddaramaiah, when he's actually gone ahead and said that the Congress party is committed to increasing the reservation limit from 50% to 75%, and thereby to increase reservation for all castes based on their population. Siddaramaiah has also gone on to say, we're not against increasing the reservation for Vokkaligas or Lingayats or any other community. We support the increase of reservation for everyone based on their population. This is a message that's coming from Siddaramaiah that's going to trigger a political controversy. He says that we will go ahead and lift that ceiling of 50% reservation. We'll make it 75%. And this will be seen as a response to the BJP constantly asking the Congress, if you go ahead and reinstate Muslim quota, what will happen to Vokkaligas and Lingayats? Because remember that the BJP said when we scrap 4% Muslim quota, 2% will go to Vokkaligas, 2% will go to Lingayats. And this was a catch-22 situation of sorts for the Congress. Siddaramaiah's response now is that we'll increase the slab, we'll increase the reservation limit, and thereby ensure Vokkaligas, Lingayats and everyone else gets their due. Shilpa Nair is joining us with more details on this interesting comment, Shilpa, that will trigger a fresh political face-off. But this is essentially Congress trying to answer to that narrative that the BJP has been building, that the Congress is against giving any additional quota to Vokkaligas and Lingayats, and that's why they want to reinstate the 4% quota.
Well, that's it, Akshita. In fact, the new changes that have been brought into the reservation policy by the Bommai government here in Karnataka is already an election issue, and we've been seeing how there's massive war of words between the Congress and the BJP over this issue, where the BJP, of course, says by doing so they've upheld social justice, whereas the Congress says by scrapping the 4% reservation that was given to the Muslims, the BJP is indulging in unconstitutional acts. And now, of course, a big statement coming in from Siddaramaiah, senior leader of the Congress party. He says the Congress is committed to increasing the reservation limit from 50% to 75% and to increase reservation to all castes based on their population. Now, this morning, Randeep Surjewala, who's the Congress's in charge for Karnataka, also reflected similar sentiments, and he said that as far as Karnataka is concerned, it's a fit case for the reservation limit, the reservation ceiling, to be increased from 50%, because he believes there is several demands that have been coming in from different communities for reservation, and he says the way to do that is, one, release the caste census data, two, undertake a socio-economic survey, which he says the Congress will do within 90 to 120 days of coming into power in Karnataka. So he says if these two criteria are met, then they can increase the limit for reservation from 50% to 75%. And he also slammed the BJP for trying to fool the people of Karnataka. He says citing what happened in the Supreme Court the other day as far as the reservation case is concerned. The Congress, of course, alleged that it was the Bombay government which stayed the implementation of this reservation policy in the Supreme Court. And he says the BJP is trying to fool the people of Karnataka, whereas the Congress will make sure the aspirations of all communities are met by increasing the reservation limit.
This is essentially now quota politics, full-fledged, that's playing out in Karnataka. From Muslim quota, it's now become an issue of all castes getting appropriate reservation. And Siddaramaiah saying, we will go ahead and change the reservation limit from 50% to 75%. We'll watch out for BJP's reaction on this. Thanks for the moment, Shilpa, for joining us. That's all we have time for in this edition of To The Point. Thanks very much for tuning in. On the other side of a short break, Rahul Kaval joins you on Newstrike.
Justice, liberty, equality, the pillars that built India. A nation where everyone has dignity and opportunities to prosper.